Is that hype? Is that cool? Hello, fellow drawers. How's it going? We all know the art community can be pretty toxic, and artistic people can sometimes be really weird. So, today we're gonna find out just how weird they can really be by reading some Reddit stories by artists, about artists, art related stuff and things. So, if you end up enjoying this video, then press like, subscribe, and let's get into it. So our first story comes from Am I the A-hole, the r/AITAH subreddit, and it is titled, Am I the A-hole for selling a painting I painted for a gift? I, 15 male, painted a beautiful pyramid for my cousin, 17 female, for her birthday. We'll call her S. I had spent hours upon hours slaving away at this painting for her whilst pouring my heart and soul into it. I give it to her and she's very thankful. 2 months later, it is my best friend's birthday. Let's call him J, 15 male. So S gets J this 300, I don't know what currency R stands for, but I'll just say Robux. So S gets J this 300 Robux plushie, and I get pissed because for the last 3 or so years she's gotten me absolutely nothing. Not even a coin or a chocolate, and her excuse was that times are tough, but then how the frick do her parents get her a brand new flat screen TV? I mean, I'd say don't count people's pockets, dude. That's kind of weird. So I take the painting from her desk and sell it for 190 Robux. And she comes to me and asks what she did wrong. I'm cooling down from the anger, but the betrayal left me heartbroken. Bro, that's... Oh. I mean, I can't understand his feelings, of course, feeling kind of left out or unseen because he has spent so much time and effort on a gift for her, but she never cared to do the same for him. That can be frustrating, especially with handmade gifts because they take so much more passion and thought, I feel like. So his feelings are valid, but the way he acted is rather, that's not very mature of you. I mean, he's 15 years old, but it was your deliberate decision to make that painting for her. And you say you poured your heart and soul into it. But it doesn't seem like you're that passionate about it if you're expecting to get something in return, I feel like. I'll be honest, gift giving is probably my least favorite love language. I don't like giving gifts, I don't like receiving gifts. If I could sign a contract with everyone I know agreeing to never give each other gifts, ever, I would. But nevertheless, I have made drawings for my friends and of my friends, but that for me is not even a gift, but like a burst of passion that I had to just draw that person because I appreciate them. I would never draw someone if I didn't feel that passion. Even if they asked, begged, kissed my feet to draw them, I wouldn't. No, thank you. I don't want to draw you. If you're willing to offer a monetary compensation, however, that's a different story. And no matter what it is a gift. You have no right to take that gift back and sell it. Like, you didn't even take it back. You stole it. You stole it from her desk. The moment you gift something to someone, that thing now belongs to them. It's not yours. Yes, you made this drawing, but it's theirs now because you gave it to them. Oh, there are a lot of comments from OP. Someone says, no, you are definitely the a-hole. You gave a gift and decided to steal it back and sell it. Give her the money as that was hers. Yeah, at least give her that money. What are you doing? What you did was insanely toxic and you need to apologize. How is anyone supposed to know you were upset about not receiving a gift when you never say it to her? If you did, she wouldn't have went out of her way to ask you why. Exactly, yeah. Did you even talk to her about it? Have you told her and explained her how much gifts mean to you? Because again, gift giving is not everyone's thing. She clearly valued it enough to be hurt by you stealing it, so you just did it out of vindictive pettiness. Don't fall into the trap of thinking I made it so I own it no matter who I give it to. You're the a-hole, you are 15, you can do better than this. And OP responds, it's not that I made it, I own it, and I deeply expressed my feelings about it, and she couldn't care less, not to mention lying over 3 years. She couldn't care less about the painting, she just thought it looked nice. First of all, you're 15, you must have heard of punctuation. Second of all, lying? If she's not giving you gifts, that means she doesn't want to give you gifts, and she doesn't have to give you anything just because you gave something to her. Again, not everyone likes gifts. If you want a friend who likes gifts as much as you do, then you and her are incompatible. She has a different love language than you. That's unfortunate, but that's not her fault. Another person says, you are the a-hole. You shouldn't be giving gifts if you feel that strongly about deserving something back in return from somebody who you know hasn't done that in the past, or at least recently. You also shouldn't be counting people's pockets in general. Her parents buying her a flat screen has nothing to do with you. And your reaction to me just feels petty unless you've left out key details that justify how this escalated from her getting somebody else a gift to you stealing your gift back. Just don't give her anything else since she can't seem to get you anything. Yeah, why do you keep getting her gifts if it makes you so upset she doesn't do the same to you? Opie says, the key detail is that for the last 3 years we've been giving her presents and I still get nothing after she lies to my face every time. My god. The fact that I go out of my way to do something really nice for you to give you on your birthday and get lied and get nothing is pretty freaking heartbreaking, so yeah. Then why are you still friends with her? If you think she's such a bad friend, then why are you still friends with her and keep giving her gifts for 3 years when you're either clearly incompatible or she doesn't want to be friends with you as much as you want to be friends with her? It can be very hurtful and sad, but I think pretty much everyone has gone through something like that when you really want to be around someone but it's just not meant to be. Oh, not to mention I go to school for Jewish people with autism and other things because I've got Asperger's, and she has nothing wrong with her, and the person I sold it to was also autistic and he offered to pay. What is this? She has nothing wrong with her. It- what does anyone's nationality or mental disability has to do with anything? This is I think you're still an a-hole. Not for the way you feel about this friendship, let me be clear. Because, I mean, the fact that you mentioned autism, I mean, I don't have autism, at least I don't think so. But even for me, it can be really, really hard sometimes to read through people's intentions and motives, and I sometimes read people completely wrong. So I think it's possible that you're misunderstanding her and just catastrophizing everything in your head, or maybe she is a really bad person. Maybe that's true, but stealing and selling that gift makes you an a-hole. Case closed. Our second story comes from the original r/am I the a-hole subreddit with a rare verdict of everyone sucks here, so let's see if that's true. The title is, am I the a-hole for telling someone their painting wasn't worth $100? Right off the bat, I'd say probably, most likely you are. A painting is worth as much as the artist says it's worth, and $100 is a low price for a painting. My husband and I were cruising Bourbon Street in NOLA. I guess it's something Los Angeles, North LA? I don't know, I'm not a US citizen. My husband and I were cruising Bourbon Street on vacation and we came across this guy on the corner selling paintings. He had some interesting stuff, but not really anything that stood out to me as a must have. My husband asked what he was selling them for and he said $100. My husband asked me what I thought, and I told him I wouldn't buy it. Okay, not a very nice thing to say in front of the artist himself. Also, the question of how did you say it arises. The guy looked at me and said, my art has hung in galleries, bitch. I'm offering it at that price as a courtesy to him because he's a horror fan. Excuse you? For those of you who are maybe planning on selling their art or taking commissions, calling your potential customer a bitch is maybe not the best selling strategy. Just a little note for you, just in case. You do you, of course. But again, we don't know. Maybe she did say it in a really, really offensive tone, and he's perfectly justified. If she was like, ew, I wouldn't buy that, it matters. How did she deliver? I said, that's awesome. And I'm not saying your piece isn't worth $100. It's just not worth $100 to me. Am I the a-hole? You know what? I think that's a very decent response, especially after being called a bitch. If someone talked to me like that, I would just leave. I wouldn't continue even talking to this person. I mean, her husband asked her what she thought of these paintings, so he was seemingly interested in purchasing one, right? He probably knows she isn't as big of a horror fan as he is, so of course she's not very fond of these paintings. I think she should have just said, like, oh, horror is not really my cup of tea, so I personally wouldn't buy something like this for myself, but the art itself is beautiful, so if you like it, then let's buy it. That I think would be a great reasonable answer, but that is a super considerate response that maybe not everyone is able to give on the fly. So I don't know. I think the everyone sucks verdict here is correct. As the comments say here, everyone sucks here. The polite thing to do would have been for you and your husband to discuss the purchase out of earshot of the artist, but he shouldn't have called you a bitch. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like discussing whether someone's product is worth the price right in front of the person selling it is really, really weird, and really awkward. I don't know why it's not awkward for them. Okay, next story from the same subreddit. Am I the a-hole for telling a rich kid that his painting sucks? So my 22 female, older sister 25 female, works for a wealthy family full time. We're from a working class background, so she's the only one in our family who is in frequent contact with out of touch rich people. Well, the family planned a vacation, and of course my sister had to go too. Wait, how does she work for them? Is she a nanny? Or like a maid? Or what's up? OP doesn't mention it. However, the couple requested me to come along as well. I've met them a few times, and for reasons unknown, the wife is very fond of me, so I guess that's why. I was initially against this, but my sister begged me to go because she feared it would reflect badly on her if I didn't give them a yes. I went as a favor. Well, I've been getting along okay with the couple, but their son Jake, 20 male, is just obnoxious. Wait, so their son is way too old to need a nanny. What's her sister's job then? I'm just curious. He basically picks up a new hobby slash career every month and forces everyone around him to be a cheerleader and be impressed. His current phase is arts, so he's been making an awful lot of awful paintings. Every day he's been coming up to me to show what he's working on, and a few times he even asked me if I'd be interested modeling for him. I declined every time. I'll be honest, at no point was he arrogant or anything, but he's extremely attention seeking. Like, he gets weirdly insecure, almost offended when someone doesn't think he's amazing, impressive, etc. A few days ago, he unveiled his latest work at dinner. His parents obviously showered him with praises, and even my sister joined them. The painting was atrocious. Girl, like, he didn't even try. Why? Sorry. The painting was atrocious. Like, he didn't even try. But everyone was lying and coddling him. He then asked me for my thoughts, and I said that it sucks. Girl, I also said he didn't practice enough to become even halfway decent at drawing, painting, and that some things you just gotta work for. I told him it belongs on his parents' fridge at best. Utter chaos. My sister immediately said that I didn't mean it like that. And I said I fully meant it like that. This is unbelievable. His mom said that he's trying his best and that I should consider an apology. His dad tried to defuse the situation, but it didn't help, and Jake just stared at me and then silently left the room. Man, poor thing. My heart just. Oh my god. He also, it feels like, has a crush on her, no? He was showing her his paintings, asking if she would model for him. Maybe that's why they invited her on a vacation in the first place. Oh my god. That sucks. Poor Jake. What a cruel bitch. Why is she so cruel? I cannot imagine how much I would have to hate someone, like really hate someone to say something like that to them. It's awful. It's so cruel. He didn't even do anything. Why do you hate him so much? Jake, I don't know if that's your real name, but if you're watching this, don't listen to her. She's a bully. Please don't give up. Keep going. Keep trying out new things. That is so, so great. If you have a crush on her, then don't forget about this little a-hole. You deserve so much better, please. We continued having dinner, but my sister was incredibly pissed. Wonder f***ing why. Of course my sister thinks I'm the a-hole. She said I should have given neutral feedback instead of letting my biases against rich kids influence me. Yes, that's exactly what it feels like. You even said previously that you were getting along with the couple. They seem like nice people. You said that the boy was never mean or arrogant or anything. Neither of them treated you poorly or did anything bad, because I'm sure if they did, you would mention it to help your case. If we're going there, why did you have to draw so much attention to your financial statuses at all? Is that relevant to the story? I don't think so. You got invited on a free vacation by this family. You agreed to go and join this family circle. Everyone was nothing but kind to you, and in return, you have been extremely rude and disrespectful for no reason. That's the story. I think you're being classist and judging people based on their economic status. Literally, in the first few sentences, you refer to all rich people as out of touch after mentioning that your sister is the only one in your family who has any sort of relationship with those said rich people. And the family is still handling it so kindly. And sister told me to stop being jealous and petty. Jake's mom also thinks I'm the a-hole, but is gently asking me to apologize to make him happy again. His dad, surprisingly enough, said it's not a big deal. These saint people, oh my god, I would have. Some other things happened during the remainder of our stay, but I don't think it's particularly relevant here, so am I the a-hole for giving harsh feedback? Yes, you idiot! In this story, to me, you seem way more spoiled than him because you have zero tact and zero manners. He didn't say a thing to you, he didn't throw a tantrum, which would be a very spoiled rich kid thing to do, don't you think? Because all those rich people are awful and bad people who don't deserve to be respected or treated nicely, aren't they? And I get that you're jealous, but I don't think it's the money that you're jealous of. Because this kid has something way more valuable than any amount of money. He has supportive parents, and he's so lucky to have that. And I wish every kid in the world had parents like that. And if your parents didn't support you as much and always told you that your childhood drawing sucked, then I'm really sorry for you. That is, like, genuinely, that is very, very sad. That is trauma. But projecting your anger onto other people makes you a bad person. Like, I'm also 20 years old now. You know how many hobbies besides drawing I have picked up over the years? A gazillion, dude. I was dancing, singing, playing guitar, weaving bracelets and stuff from like rubber bands, polymer clay sculpting, sculpting in 3D, playing around with the 3D pen, collecting figurines, painting with gouache, acrylics, watercolor, pens, pencils, markers, crochet, traditional art, digital art. And you know what kept me going and what keeps me going till this day? My family's support. I always lived with my mom. My mom was a single mom, and you better believe she supported me every step of the way. No matter which hobby I wanted to try, no matter how good I was at it skill wise, even when I was a beginner artist and my drawings weren't even how did you say it? Oh, halfway decent. Yeah, of course they weren't. I was a beginner. But you better believe my mom was cherishing every single drawing, hanging them on the walls, and telling and boasting about my achievements to anyone who was willing to listen, to the point where I felt so embarrassed. She was flipping through my ugly sketchbooks in sheer amazement and always praising me and telling me how great I am. And I wish every single parent treats their child like that, instills this unbreakable confidence into them so they believe in themselves and are never afraid to try something new, to pick up a new hobby, to learn. That is what parenting is, being your child's biggest supporter. And any parent is capable of supporting their kid no matter their financial situation. I'm just sorry your parents weren't like that, but that gives you no right to be a bully. Shut the fuck. And no, the financial status doesn't define one's worth as a human. Are all working class people that you know good people? I highly doubt that. Are all rich people bad people? I also highly doubt that. Yes, rich people can be good people, and working class people can be bad people. This story is a living proof of that. Next, this story is from r/AITAH. AITA for exposing an influencer to her family after she demanded a free painting and $200 on top of that, threatening to tell her followers not to buy from me if I refused. My mom's goddaughter, let's call her Jen, 29 female, asked me, 25 female, to do a painting for her because she saw I did one for a mutual friend. Let's call her Anna. Jen wanted the painting as a gift for her father, who is a retired photographer. Here's the thing. Anna paid me for the painting and everything went smoothly. She posted a picture of the painting with her mom as she was gifting it to her. Well, Jen saw that painting and became interested in one for her father. The problem is she wanted me to do it for free. She said she would advertise it on her Instagram and tell her fans to buy from me in exchange for the painting. I told her no, as I am not in a great financial spot right now and I cannot afford to do something for free. She wanted a custom sized canvas, which is not commonly found in stores. What? I'm not a traditional painter, but what's wrong with the traditional canvas sizes? Why do you need a custom one? Do you want it to be like a couple centimeters wider, or like why so specific? I would either have to have it made myself or try to find it online for a reasonable price. I explained this to her, but she still didn't understand. She said I already had the materials on hand and that she didn't think art materials were that expensive. Girl, you'd be surprised. You know, I think a lot of people who are not related to art have this assumption that digital art is more expensive than traditional because, well, you have to buy like an iPad or a computer and a graphic tablet, and that is a lot of money because that is tech. But oh no, 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 no. The iPad? You buy it once and it's good for like probably forever if you treat it well. But if you're a professional traditional artist, like have you seen marker prices? It's like $5 to $10 for one marker. That's crazy. Brushes, paints, and unlike an iPad, they get used and you have to constantly replace them and purchase new ones. I mean, of course, art can be as cheap or as expensive as you make it to be. You can easily just draw with pencil on paper your entire life and create masterpieces that way and sell them and make a living out of that. Or someone can own a lot of expensive materials while still being a total noob because you can't buy skill. She accused me of being greedy and not having a vision for business, claiming that her exposure would be more valuable than my art. She also said she wanted me to pay her $200 on top of the free painting, arguing that with her help, I would make so much money and companies pay her to review things. She pointed out that every creative artist or individual, including her father, did free work at the beginning. Everything went downhill when she noticed I wasn't replying. I was working. And she started talking down on me because I was let go from the military for medical reasons beyond my control. She said I had failed at everything, including that, and that she was giving me the option to succeed and make my parents proud. Since I wasn't replying, she called my mom to complain that I didn't want to do a free painting for her. As I mentioned, she's my mom's goddaughter, and my mom seems to have a preference for her. Mom called me back and demanded I do the painting for free. Mom! I became enraged. Jen's words about my parents not being proud of me stuck in my head, so I decided to draw a 2-second sketch and told her that that was her free painting and to leave me alone. She became really angry and threatened to post on her socials telling her followers not to buy from me and to ruin my art career. I've received a few phone calls from my mom which I haven't answered and some hate messages from what I assume are her followers. Am I the a-hole for exposing her texts to her family, including the internet? That is crazy. She's crazy. Some clients are just not worth working for. Even if she later agrees to pay you for the painting, I would not pay anything for her. Like, even for like any amount of money. What an entitled lunatic. I doubt that her influencer career is going to flourish much as soon as her audience realizes what kind of person she is. And also, exposure doesn't mean shit, especially if she's not an art related influencer. Her audience is most likely not the target audience for this artist, and no amount of exposure is going to guarantee him getting commissions. Like, it's so stupid to think that that is how it works and that you're giving someone this offer of their life by agreeing to post their work you refuse to pay for on your influencer profile. To feel like you're such a big deal that you'd literally be able to kickstart someone's career? Really? You know how big you have to be to make a claim like that? You'd have to be Mr. Beast. Then, yeah, I would believe that you could actually change someone's life with your influence and resources. But I highly doubt that this girl is this caliber of an influencer. Although OP never mentions how big of an audience she has, so maybe she is a multi-million content machine and OP is actually missing out on a life-changing opportunity. Of course, there is always like a small chance that one right person can notice your work and that will be enough for you to get your big break. But the chances of that are so incredibly low. So if someone is offering you to work for them in return for exposure, 99% of the time they're trying to scam you. Don't. Sure, if it's a collaboration with a really big popular brand, then of course it's worth it. But most big legit brands will probably have enough resources and will be willing to pay you for your work. They won't make you work for exposure, I think. There is an update. Hi everyone, just wanted to give a quick update. I did tell her dad about it. We had a brief talk and he told me she's been acting out due to problems in her relationship. Not sure if that's true. He also mentioned that she has been battling alcohol and substance abuse, which has made her more prone to picking fights. She has had recurrent issues with family and friends complaining to him about it. He said it was his fault for always giving her what she wanted and for raising her spoiled. Either way, he assured me that he was going to talk to her and ask her to never contact me again. He also asked me to not tell her boyfriend about it as they are on the brink of separation. Her attitude towards others is one of the reasons they are having problems. Her dad is a sweetheart and he's currently going through dialysis. New word unlocked. I told him it's fine as long as she never contacts me or my family again. As for my mother, I've never gotten along with her, so I've blocked her for now. I'm not sure if that will be forever, but I'm trying to find peace. For those who asked me to expose her publicly, I'm not going to do that. That was never my plan. I never said I would. I only said I would expose her to her family. I would appreciate if you guys didn't DM me asking for usernames, or if you are a news reporter. I really don't care. I'm not here to get clout, as some say. I just wanted to know if I'd be in the wrong, and I got my verdict. Edit, due to high number number of people harassing me over not exposing her publicly, I will be deleting this post. For those, you are no different than her. You don't get your way and you start harassing someone? Seriously? Thanks to the good and sweet people who supported me. Yeah, what? Like, why would OP expose her? That would only lead to more shit getting thrown their way from her. What's the point? Just stand your ground and cut contact with those people and be safe. Okay, that's it for today. If you know of any specific curious art related Reddit stories, or maybe you have your personal stories about commission experiences or anything else art related, then feel free to submit them and maybe I will read them next time. You know how I said that gift giving is not my love language at all? Well, you know what is? Quality time and words of affirmation. So I don't need any gifts from you. The fact that you chose to spend this time with me and that we had this conversation is like a million times more valuable to me than any gift in the world. So thank you so much. You know who doesn't want to spend time with me and only does so in exchange for food? I'm not gonna point any fingers, but and good night, good day, goodbye.